Hi, Candy McCune here. Can you relate to this picture? Too much information absolutely overwhelms me. And I'm only talking about the health and supplements field and the related chronic diseases. And if you search the internet, you're going to see a huge debate over whether eggs, coffee, salt are good or bad for you. But internet searching sends you all over the place, and you try to figure it out. Who really knows? Who can be trusted? It happened to me just the other day at a small gathering where we had idle talk time while I was working on a group project with them. But someone mentioned they never salted their food and they ate only low sodium products. They wondered if that was good to do. Well, Dr. Wallach's wisdom was ringing in my ear as I shared his research based concern that lack of salt was a health hazard. In fact, he tells his patients to salt to taste. Well, goodness, you would have thought World War III was breaking out. Both sides of the issue were hotly debated by others present. I was amazed. They had strong positions on both sides, but it hit a nerve for me. The internet is a big resource. It's a big resource for me, and particularly in the health area. And there's a lot out there on both sides. But the result? Too much information. It's overwhelming, and that leads to uncertainty. What's good? What's bad? And the biggest question, what do I do about it? Well, as I'm working in this business of guiding people to better health through longevity products and resources, I have learned a lot. And I could have shared with the person who asked about salt Dr. Wallach's story from page 85 on his book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, about the upper Midwest heat wave in 1993, where people were fainting and over 700 died in its wake. And there was a common denominator of heart disease and high blood pressure. Well, when Dr. Wallach heard this, he realized the folks had been placed by their physicians on low salt and no salt diets, and that left them with a sodium deficiency. That was the real culprit. Or I could have shared with her Dr. Glidden's information from his book, Attempt a Cure, on page 62, where he talks about salting your food liberally. He says there is no relationship between salt intake and high blood pressure, and there never has been. Or in his video, I could have shared his website, and it has a video on salt with all the history and all the benefits. One of the best, next to the bottom, you'll see is optimizing the stomach acid health. It takes salt to keep our digestive tract in an optimal state of health. Amazing. Okay, just for you, I took a look at the other side on the internet, and here's what I found. Well, healthprep.com says, yeah, sodium is essential for human health, but it can lead to elevated blood pressure, heart failure, stroke, osteoporosis, kidney disease, stomach cancer. Oh my goodness. Another one kind of repeats all of those, but it gave 3 pros and 3 cons about salt, leaving you totally wondering what's going on. The next, verywellhealth.com, repeats it. Doctors will almost certainly recommend you adopt a salt restriction diet or for high blood pressure or hypertension. Then there was the webmd.com, often used, but interesting about people who are salt resistant. That means their salt intake does not affect blood pressure. Oh, and there's no way to test if you're salt resistant. Let's get all confused. Confusion reigns, and that's what I'm going to do next time I'm going to salt my food. Think about all those things? No. Here's my true point, though. I had this really come home to me recently because I have been immersed in the online marketing and business building world. It's the same thing. Tons of information, many, many leaders in the field, so many options and methods and gurus and tools. I felt just like this sign till I heard some wisdom that I fully adopted, and it has served me well, and I'm applying it in the health field as well. It's a two-step deal. And the first step is to pick the top 3 resources that you know and trust, and you follow only those sources. This allows you to block out the overwhelming noise from so many other places that will give you pros and cons. Unless you're a professional researcher and you love to research everything about everything, I predict you're going to feel like I did when you picked these top three: relief, and you could rest. I unsubscribed to a bunch of sources. It was very freeing to limit my viewing and my learning work. I can always still be open to new things, but I know which three gurus I'm going to follow for my needs in the online marketing area as well as health. Let me share mine in health. These are my go-to trust folks: Dr. Joel Wallach, Dr. Peter Glidden, and my local nutritionist that I've been seeing for over a year now. And I'll do separate blogs on how and why I picked them, plus a little bit more wisdom and help on them. But for now, I thought it might be helpful. Test this and see for yourself. Who would you think would be your top three? Here's the second step. You need to test your theory or a product or whatever information you've learned to see if it fits for you. You really are your best guinea pig. I did a blog on this recently. But my nutritionist recently helped me in this. We had to test a new product that I was trying to incorporate into my health routine, and it was not working. She tested me, and I do not work well with that item. So these two steps, very common sense to me, but I just hadn't put them together into a system that would help. And I hope it will help you screen all that overwhelm of information and input that we have in our lives today. And I hope you can scroll down and leave me a comment. Your feedback is really helpful to me. This is Candy McCune, your guide to better health.